Hey guys, welcome to another Q&A. I hope you're doing well. Again, I went through all your questions in the last videos and I picked out the most interesting ones. So let's get started. So the first question is from Morgan Nieher, and I think we already know you. He's asking, do you actively work on not looking at your left hand and fretboard while you play? No, I'm not actively practicing that. When you're playing an instrument for such a long time, and I'm playing my instrument almost every day, you don't have to look at your fretboard all the time. You memorize how it feels. And I think that's also something that maybe comes from my cello background, because when you begin to learn the instrument, you normally start with the first position. And you're forced to memorize how it feels because it's so uncomfortable to look at the fretboard like that all the time. So of course I looked at my teacher, but I try to memorize how it feels. And that's the same thing I'm doing on the electric bass. So a lot of the time I'm playing with my eyes closed. To go with the flow and to go with the music and to concentrate more just on the music. Sometimes I'm doing this too much, but I think what would be a fun exercise for you is to practice in the dark. So take a song you know by heart, switch off the lights and play the song, and you are forced to feel and to get to know your fretboard not looking at it. So maybe that's a cool exercise for you. Okay, the second question from Morgan Nieher is, do you work on looking at the audience and making sure you're not staring at your left hand all the time? Yes, when I'm preparing for a show, I also practice my performance. So I also want to communicate with the audience and with my band members. So I try to visualize the audience and my band members while practicing. And for example, when I'm practicing a song and there are some cues in it, in my practicing room, I also give the cues and stuff like that. And I try to visualize maybe what will I wear? Are there any dance moves in it, for example? And by the way, check out Mario, the bass player from Bruno Mars. It's insane how he's dancing and playing bass at the same time. That's just incredible and next level. So the next question is from Poo Ninja, and I want to do a little shout out because I think there isn't a single video you didn't leave a comment. So I just want to say thank you. And your question is, what in-ears are you using? So I personally use two different in-ear systems. I've got vision ears, and I also have as a backup system KC. They're not expensive, so I always have vision ears, and most of the time while I'm playing a show, two backup in-ears, at least one backup system from KC, because I didn't want that something is not working and I don't have a backup in-ear system. So that is my setup. And Poo Ninja is also asking, do you monitor the bass through them or just the program music and listen to the bass amp in the room? I of course monitor the bass through the in-ears, otherwise I wouldn't hear the bass very well, so I have to do that. And it's pretty cool because you've got a really good sound. So thank you, Poo Ninja, again. The next really interesting question comes from Clint Sonohan, and he's asking, I realized that my plucking fingers are slower than my fret fingers when I'm doing progressive runs. Have you had this problem? Yes, of course I had this problem, and sometimes I still have this problem. And in my case, the solution was to practice it really, really slow, so in slow motion. You have to practice that line so slow that it feels stupid. That you think, oh come on, I can play it much faster. But what I realized is that when I'm practicing a certain run that is not working 10 to 20 times really slow, and the output is much better. So after this slow motion process, I speed it up with the metronome, and then the runs are so much better and it is so much faster. And if you try to do this exercise, I would love to know if it helped you and what your experience was. So please let us know in the comments section. I would be so interested in that. So the last question is from John Paris, and he's asking, do you have a preference on the height of your pickups on your bass guitar setup? I hope this makes sense. Yes, it makes totally sense. And when I hear that, for example, the sound is not balanced very well, for example, that a string is louder in comparison to the others, I try to adapt this with the height of the pickup. And this also depends on what kind of player you are, because I used to play really hard, and you don't want that the string is touching the magnet, because that's a horrible sound. So there are some soft players where it makes sense that the pickup is near to the string, but in my case my pickup is a little bit lower than maybe most of the players. I hope that makes sense. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for all your questions and for your support. I really love this community. If you've got more questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I really hope to see you in one of the next videos. Bye everyone!